this show are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production of Glory 93.9 FM.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street.
Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Wardrobe provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com. And good morning, all, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. Always a pleasure to be in your company. And we have a great show planned for you today. And this is specifically for persons who have been going through difficulty as a result of this pandemic. A lot of people have lost their jobs, lost their, main source of income, not sure where the next meal is coming from. And for some people, they, just threw their hands up in despair and were like, wow, woe is me, what do I do? And just went into depression and all this kind of thing. But there's a saying that with every adversity, there's opportunity. And for some people, they look at an adversity and they figure out, how do I switch this thing? How do I make this difficult situation work for me? And so the two gentlemen that I'm going to be talking with today fall into that second category of persons who decided, you know what? I'm not going to let my circumstances beat me. I'm going to beat my circumstances. I'm going to rule my circumstances. I am not going to let my circumstances dictate what happens with my life. And I thought that this was a very important message to bring to you guys today because, a lot of people are hurting right now and going through. And many of them really don't have much hope and don't see a way out. But I want to promise you, and I believe that you will see through this show today, that there is always hope and there is always a way out. You just have to, it's all about your posture. It's all about how you see things and whether or not you allow your circumstances to dictate you or you dictate your circumstances. And so the two gentlemen that I'm going to be talking about today, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you. And Kenny, this is your, that's your camera right here. No, look where I'm pointing. No, look right here. That's your camera.
All right.
So I'm going to bring you into the stream now. You're up now. This is Kenny St. Mark, who was just recently named one of the 48. What is that? What is the name of that award you got?
Top 48 Millennials.
Top 48 Millennials. And this is celebrating young people in our country who are doing some fantastic things. So welcome to the show, Kenny.
Thank you for having me.
And then also joining us, I saw him a moment ago, but he has fallen off the stream. So hopefully he will join us very soon again. And that person is Corey Bullard. And they do have something in common. They both were employees of Atlantis. They both were furloughed. They both decided to take that lemon, and they both decided to make lemonade. And so that's the title of today's show. When life gives you a lemon, you know the rest. Make lemonade. And so, Kenny, welcome to GPS. First, give us your background. What did you do at Atlantis? How long were you there? That whole story about how we got to be where we are today.
Okay. Well, my official title was a desktop publisher,
Okay.
essentially a graphic designer.
So you worked in the IT department.
Actually, PR and marketing.
Okay.
IT will be completely separate.
I see. Okay.
Correct. And basically it was my job to communicate the brand, to deliver any sort of visual items for the company,
Mm-hmm.
and, to be the brand ambassador, to ensure that all of the departments in the hotel are adhering to the brand. Any sort of printing items that are needed for almost every single department. It was a team of us, by the way, not just me. And that was our responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for about 7/8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 years if you include, the furlough time. But yeah.
So you were furloughed at the beginning of the pandemic shutdown?
Correct.
You were furloughed for 15 months, right?
Correct. At the end of March.
Wow. And so what's going through your mind in that 15 months as you're sitting there languishing? What were the thoughts that were going through your mind as to how you would survive this?
Well, the first 4 months was a bit nerve-wracking, sorry, for many, I'm sure. Because the first question was, well, income has stopped. What do I do now? Do I have enough savings to last this pandemic? How long will the pandemic last? And more or less what I did was I spent the time on self-development. After 4 months, I think everyone started to realize, hey, I'm not dying yet. Not everyone, obviously. I'm one of the privileged few, but I started to realize that this isn't so bad. So for the first 4 months, I didn't put on any pandemic weight because I was watching, my resources. And then after 4 months, and I realized it's not so bad. I can do this. Then I started to look at different avenues, put myself out there, advertise my business heavily during that period of time. And then after a year, or give or take 13, 14 months, that's when I decided, okay, you know what? Even when things does open up again, I'm not really sure I'm going to go back, because I've had the last year to see how I can survive on my own.
Okay, so you had a business already?
Correct.
You were running a little part-time business while you had your full-time job.
My freelance venture, correct.
More
than one, actually.
So for you, it was just a matter of making the decision as to whether or not you wanted to rely completely on that.
And that decision was always at the back of my mind. And the silver lining is the pandemic and being furloughed gave me the opportunity to see, because, I always sort of wanted to take that step out and go on my own, but there's always that uncertainty.
And there's a little bit of fear in there, because you're
Correct.
thinking, well, what if I can't carry myself?
Correct.
And yeah. So you made this decision.
Correct.
You decide, well, the decision was pretty much, a no-brainer, because you're sitting there 15 months furloughed.
Well, the funny thing was, a week before we know what occurred, they asked me to return.
Okay.
And after months of deliberation and saying what I was going to do, the question was actually put before me, whether to return or to say, you know what, no, I'm not going to return. And so I told them, no, I'm not going to return. Yeah.
That must have been, I'm sure that wasn't just a very easy decision. That you must have had to take some serious time and And I don't know if you're a praying person, but maybe some serious prayer and meditation and
Well,
making that decision.
I had 15 months to do that.
Well,
That's the point.
you got a point.
Yeah, I had 15 months to do that.
Yeah.
So obviously, when the moment actually arrived,
Mhm.
there was still some hesitation.
Mhm.
But I realized it's now or never. I've been deliberating on this for years. And then now I've had 15 months of actually experiencing it. And so I finally made the decision. I told them, yeah,
That's it.
correct.
So you made this decision. Wouldn't be surprised if even after sitting around waiting for 15 months, some of your probably immediate loved ones and friends thought, boy, you got to be crazy. They're giving you your job back. And you talking stupidness about you want to go on your own? What kind of advice were you getting? And how did you make a decision in spite of that advice?
Well, I'm a very headstrong person, so a lot of my friends and family, they're aware of that. Most persons were supportive because I communicated a lot through the entire pandemic.
Okay.
So it wasn't something I just sprung on them. But I weighed the pros and the cons. And, going out on my own and becoming self-employed far outweighed the latter. Just like if I was still employed, I wouldn't be right here right now sitting on your show because it'll be, corporate bureaucracy and policies. I can't get the time off. Or I would have to, rush on my lunch break to come here just to be on your show and rush back to work,
Right.
So the freedom it's granted me, the opportunity has granted me to focus more on my ventures. I've quadrupled my income, so it was a no-brainer.
See, that was my next question because you can't eat freedom. You can't take freedom to the food store and say, I want to pay this bill with this freedom.
Correct.
So my next question to you was going to be, how did that translate in terms of your ability to really make it on your own?
Well, here's the thing. Like I told you, it's been a few years I've been contemplating this.
Right.
And part of the reason was, I'll be honest, I'm not the best person when it came to managing my money until the last 2 years. When I had a paradigm shift, and I realized that
no pun intended.
I had to be more financially stable. I need to be better at managing my money. So I started managing my money, and I've been saving before all of this started. And thanks to some savings, and thanks to the two ventures that I have, so I had that as insurance. So, because they always tell you, if you're going out on your own or if you're opening your own business, it pays to have a certain amount of money set aside just in case things fall through. So that security or that insurance helped make the decision a lot easier. If I didn't have that, I probably would have returned because then the fear would have been greater. And I probably would have succumbed to that fear and be like, yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, Corey is joining us now. I see he's back on the stream. Corey Bullard has a very similar story because he too was an employee of Atlantis. Hey, Corey, what's going on? His internet must be freaking out because he just dropped out again. He was on for a second and then he dropped out again. So I think he must be having connectivity issues or something. So as soon as he gets back up, we're going to add him to the stream to get his story. He's back up again. Corey, you need to get yourself some decent internet, man. What you saying?
I'm good. Cable Bombers is doing some work. So
Okay.
be straight now. That's all.
All right. So welcome to
So-
GPS. I
Good
know.
afternoon, Michelle. Good afternoon, Bahamas. Good afternoon, my brother, my fellow entrepreneur.
Do y'all recognize each other's faces? Because you were both. I mean, Atlantis had a lot of employees, so it very well could have.
So the thing with Atlantis is, because if I worked on the reef and coast side, so if he was on the other side, highly unlikely. Now, if he was on the reef and coast side, I didn't know him.
Right.
I know a few people on the other side, but Atlantis is huge. It's like a neighborhood. Yeah.
So, like Kenny, Corey, you found yourself after how long were you employed at Atlantis?
5 years.
Okay, and so after 5 years, you find yourself furloughed. COVID shut everything down, and so you find yourself without work and faced with a lot of uncertainty. But you too had started your own business on the side, correct?
Yes.
So
Yes, I
tell
did.
us about what that business was that you were working on the side.
Well, I'm a fitness professional, and I have been for a very, very long time. And I was always doing fitness as well as working for Atlantis.
What did you have? So
Uh,
you were a fitness instructor at Atlantis as well?
no, I was a manager at Atlantis.
Okay. Now
I was a
during the
manager,
break,
a tower
Corey.
manager.
Okay,
Go
you're
ahead.
during the break, I want you to switch positions so that the light is not behind you. The light coming from the windows
Mm,
behind you, and it's making you look like a silhouette. So you need
okay, is
to
this better?
a little lesson in broadcasting. You never have the
Yes,
light. Okay, so you were a manager of one of the towers. You furloughed
yes,
because COVID shut everything down. How long were you furloughed
yes.
for?
14 months.
Wow, just 1 month short of what Kenny experienced. Okay, so for
Correct.
14 months, you don't have any income, no work. What's going through your mind?
No, not from Atlantis.
Not from
Well,
Atlanta.
I, to be truthful, I never panicked because I always had my fitness business going. But I always used to say though that if Atlantis ever let me go, if they shut down for whatever reason, I wonder if my business could provide for me and my family. I always used to wonder that.
Hmm.
And when thing it is, when and when COVID happened, it happened, and I found myself running my fitness business and doing quite well actually. So what I did, I got proactive. I said, boy, this COVID thing happened, the hotel shut down. Let me invest in my business. Let me get it legalized, licensed. Um, Let me make sure, all the T's are crossed and all the I's dotted. And that's what I did. And so during the furlough, I was very, very busy and very, very active and just pumping the monies I made into the business and getting whatever was necessary. I got some more certifications as well. And that's what I was doing. And it was really panning out really, really well. So, I wasn't panicked or anything like that. I was just on my track, just doing pumping into my business.
So I am hearing two things here from you guys, and that is, um, you didn't have all your eggs in one basket.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that put you in a position where, when one thing fell through, you still had some degree of hope because you realized, okay, I still have this to fall back on.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that's an important lesson to learn here. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Lesson number one. And then I'm sure that for both of you, it took a certain degree of courage for you to launch out.
Yes.
Now, courage, I want people to understand what courage really is. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear,
And push it.
facing the fear,
And
doing it anyway.
Correct.
That's what
correct.
courage
That's
is.
correct.
So how
Right.
much did you both have to rely on that courage to, yeah, in other words, was it a situation where, I know Corey, you said you weren't panicked, but did fear ever creep in there? And how did you turn that around to make it courage so that you could move forward? Kenny, let's start with you.
Okay. Um, like I said, well, we had a lot of lockdowns, A lot of us had a lot of time to sit down and do some introspection and think. So that gave me more than enough time to consider all of my options because I didn't have much of a choice and to decide whether I'm either going to allow this situation to break me or to push through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to push through. I cannot tell you the amount of hours I spent over the last 15 months with on improving myself.
Mm-hmm.
I literally I added a few certifications to what I offer during that time. Everything transitioned to online learning. So I utilized that opportunity and all that free time to better myself. And I feel as I had that opportunity to better myself and business was still coming in, and I realized how lucrative it was,
Mm-hmm.
it slowly made the decision easier and it lessened the fears over time. So it was there, like I said, for the first few months. And by summer last year, that's more or less when I had the decision in the back of my mind that, you know what, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
All right. Kenny, let's hear from you. I know you said that you were never panicked. Sorry, not Kenny, Corey.
Correct.
But you were never panicked. But was there any fear involved? I want you to be honest.
There's always an element of fear.
Yeah.
There always is an element of fear, of course, for most things, if not everything. But I had a teensy weensy bit of fear because I wanted to tie up one or two loose ends with the money, the salary that I was getting from my parents.
Mm-hmm.
So that's if I say I had fear, that's the only fear I had.
Mm-hmm.
But because we closed March 25th of last year, by May 25th, I could have seen the money rolling in, and I was like, wow, except for this one or two loose ends that I would tie with the money from Atlantis. I mean, I'm really, I'm good. I was surprised actually in terms of how steady the money was. Like Kenny said, summer I was definitely good, and I was like, quite honest, I was like, boy, I don't even think I'm going back there to that stress because middle management is a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying, I don't even think I'm going back. And what I urge my Bahamian people to do is it takes hard work to work for yourself, but you recognize what your talent is. Once you recognize what your talent is, everybody has them. Some people have 2, 3, and 4. You build on it and you educate yourself more about it. Whether you get your certifications or go to school or whatever, and then you pump your energy into it, and that's what you do, and that's what I did. I mean, like I said, even before Atlantis, the furlough, I was doing my business plus working for Atlantis,
Mm-hmm.
and like it goes back to what you said with eggs and two. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You don't.
Right.
I was never like that. I never believed that one income made sense, even when things was good in this country.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I see too many Bahamians. They are fair. They're fearful of their talent. Don't trust their talent, and they rely on these businesses and these hotels and the like. And not everybody's gonna have their own business. That's not the point. The point
Right.
is though everybody has talent. I think people are just afraid to go out and have their own businesses and use their talent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's I think that's the biggest thing. Some people just in fear of that. And I get it, but I never really had that type of fear because I always trusted in the business I'm in, and quite frankly, my talent. That's not to sound braggadocious or anything. That's just how I think and how I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I urge people to do is when you decide to use your talent and invest in it, you have to invest in it, number one, and you have to shore it up, legalize it. Get your licenses, get your certifications, go to NIB. Get your email, get everything that a big business has or have rather. I have, except the facility now, and I'm working on that.
Right.
And that's what you do. And once you do that, you can reach out to companies like Alive. Like me, for instance, I go live with Alive today as one of their merchants.
Okay.
Now, if my business wasn't in good standing with business plan and all that kind of stuff, I couldn't dare write them a letter and approach them about that.
Good
Because
point.
they would say you gotta be kidding. Your T's ain't crossing, your I's ain't dotted.
All right.
So I could go there. Right. Sorry.
On the other side of the break, I want us to talk more about strategies. But there are two important lessons from this first segment. Number one, don't put all your eggs into the same basket. And number two, better yourself to be able to handle the business that you want to establish.
Yes.
These gentlemen didn't know
Yes.
each other. First time meeting each other today, and it's like they got the same
Pleasure.
story. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So we're going to talk more about the strategies that they used. And then we're also going to talk directly to those of you who just were let go from Atlantis. 700 people out there right now with uncertainty. And we have to talk directly to them and others who were furloughed with you guys about what you can do to turn your circumstances around. So stay with us. That is all coming up. But first, we got to pay some bills. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Alive. Alive. Believe in best.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings. All with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
At Lee Air, safety is our number one priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
Listen to Glory 93.9 FM for the best mix of traditional, classic, country, contemporary, and Caribbean gospel in New Providence, Bahamas.
Dress, hats off, looking like I walked out of catalog. Everybody wanna know where I got it from. Catwalk, boutique, where we make fashion statements. Catwalk, boutique, where we make fashion statements.
For the latest styles in women's clothing and accessories, visit Catwalk Boutique on Robertson Road East at the Helron Plaza. At Catwalk Boutique, we make fashion statements.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. And my guests today are two gentlemen who have a very similar story in that they were they were furloughed from Atlantis and decided to take that lemon and make lemonade. So let's bring back into the stream Kenny St. Mark, who was employed in the marketing department at Atlantis, creating what do you call it, images for either marketing purposes, and Corey Bullard, who was a middle manager, managing one of the towers, and they both were laid off, furloughed, I should say, for, in the case of Kenny, 15 months, in the case of Corey, 14 months, with no income from their jobs, but they had, prior to leaving their jobs, started their own businesses, and the long period of furlough gave them the courage that they needed to launch out and pursue those businesses. And they have both come here today to tell their story. And I wanted to do this show because I really think that it is important that we encourage persons who are out there right now who find themselves in a position where both these gentlemen were, you know, in terms of not having an income from a job, and especially those who have just recently been released from Atlantis. 700 people, y'all, are out there now wondering what next. Now, gentlemen, both of you had the foresight to actually start a little business on the side, but you've got some people in that number who didn't do that. They were relying strictly on that job income. So what do you say to them? What can they now do to take this lemon that they've been handed and make some sweet lemonade? How would you advise them? Either
You
one.
first, Kenny.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, I have to first acknowledge the fact that I'm lucky. Not everyone is in the position or had the position that I had in order to have that disposable income anyway, to put it aside, to save or to invest. Just because I did it doesn't mean, I know people like to say, I did it, you can do it too.
Right.
But, that's just disregarding all of the other challenges people can face. Just because someone doesn't have money doesn't mean they're bad at handling their money.
Okay.
Sometimes, everything they have is going to just surviving.
Right.
So I want to first acknowledge that. But how do I approach this? I always would, as you said earlier, do not put all of your eggs in one basket. So that was my mindset all along. I wanted to have multiple sources of income because nothing lasts forever. So as we saw, it doesn't matter what your position may be, how high up the corporate ladder you are. You never know what could happen. So if something happens with A, you have B. If something happens with B, you have C. So my advice would be just that. Do not put all of your eggs in one basket. Do not think that this is the end. Look at it as a new beginning. I know I had the, like you said, the foresight to start before this happened, but just because you didn't doesn't mean that you can't start now.
Right.
Take lemon, make lemonade. Yeah, that's the only advice right now I can give.
Okay.
Yeah.
Corey, let's get you in here. What would you have to add to what Kenny just said?
Well, my advice would be, seeing that we're talking about people who didn't have the foresight or didn't choose to do their own thing. Well, you have to do it now. You still have the talent. Now you have to really use it. So my advice would be to find whatever your talent is. And your talent is whatever you're good at or whatever you really like doing. That can make you some money now. Not if you like dancing, go dance. But even though dancing, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So find your talent now, because now you have to. And that money that you got from Atlantis, invest it in yourself, in your talent. If you like bake, or if you want to bake it there, buy your tools or buy an oven or whatever. You get the gist of what I'm saying. And start now. And secondly, legitimize it. Get your business license. get your certifications, etc. And that's what you do. That's what you do. And then you go there and you build your brand and you hustle and you ask for advice from business people or whoever the case may be about, making your logos, etc. And that's what you do. And you start like how I think we're supposed to get our first payment this week. I mean, today, you start that today. Today. And that would be my advice. So I find that go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish your point.
I find that too many of us as Bahamians, we to use the old school word, Michelle, we like to slump. We procrastinate too much, and then things pass us by. So stop procrastinating. Use your talent wherever you worked in the department. Maybe you have some experience or whatever. Maybe not. You have talent or talents. Use some of that money now. Invest in yourself. Invest in your product, and start today.
So, question: you say we getting our first payment, so you were included in that 700? Who was?
Yes.
What about you, Kenny?
Yes, I could.
Well, I resigned.
You resigned. That's
a
right.
week before it happened.
Oh, I know you were like, oh man.
Well, when I resigned, I kind of knew what that was the decision I was making.
Right.
By doing so, but keep in mind, I was asked to return, so I would have never been in that group anyway. I had to make a choice to either. I only have 3.
I got it.
Return, abandon, or get fired.
I got it.
So, yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. So, I know. Well, let's go to the phone lines first and hear what this caller has to say. Okay, caller, you're on the air. Welcome to GPS.
Beth, good morning, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
You're back. Nice to see you.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
And good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling to share a little experience that I just had recently to help to add to what your guests are sharing today, Michelle. I'm a gentleman who happens to be without physical sight. I'm blind.
Okay.
And when I schooled in the United States and came back home and found the Bahamas at that time very unfriendly, foreign toward people who were totally blind. So I had a lot of challenges along the way. Now, I gave that lead to say this, that I was blessed with setting up a nonprofit organization some years ago. And just recently, because of my disability and because of the hand of God, and I must sincerely say that God has intervened in my life recently and opened up a wonderful door for me through my nonprofit. Things are now beginning to look up in regards to my nonprofit. Why am I saying that? Because as your guests are alluding to, and I want to specifically clearly sound this note, networking, collaboration, teamwork. The thing that has me able to now sing the praises of God in regards to what He's done for me, Michelle, is because of knowing people with whom through whom we all have the similar interest and ability, and joining together, working together, and making things happen. This situation right now is, yes, with people 700 plus being let go, is a challenging one for those at face value. But the opportunity for those employees to now come together and form small companies or investment clubs or investment networks, whatever have you, to be able to pool their resources and, the old adage, their strength and unity, come together and make things happen. I think this is probably the best time for them in the life of their lives personally and of the country, wherein we Bahamians can take not just the lemonade, but we could take the old stale flour and turn that flour into the best, most beautiful benny cake, flour cake, coconut fat, whatever you want to call it in Bahamian terminology, to make our bad situation into a good one. I just had to call up and share that because networking now, what us Bahamians seem to have lost the art of collaboration for the most part over the years. So I just wanted to encourage persons to now beginning to come together, because it is because of networking that God works through to help me now with my nonprofit to be able to sing the praises that I can now sing in regards to the point I'm making, Michelle. So I just wanted to call in and contribute and to encourage your guests, and if they know other fellow employees who would have been let go from Atlantis, if you gentlemen could get in touch with some of them and encourage and motivate them to, come together and work together and look at other ways and things in the country that they can go after, buying land, buying businesses, just any and all kind of opportunities out there for them to, to grow and to improve. So I'd like to hear what you gentlemen think about it, and I'll hang up and listen to your responses. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks for calling, JT. Guys, you want to respond?
Well, funny JT should say that because I neglected to say that. But since I've been in business full time, I can honestly say the biggest thing in business is not necessarily the money or even what it's networking. That's the number one thing in business. That's how I was able to get licenses and websites and all that. Networking is the biggest thing. And, payments, Michelle, as you know, we never used to like to network with each other. We always wanted to, I want this, I want that. Once me and my family good, we'll pretend like we like each other, but we never want to network. But at the main time, the guys at the top, they networking and whatnot and getting everything, and we fighting against each other and pulling at each other. But if we learn to network, and I don't care what profession you're in, networking is the number one thing in business and getting ahead.
Mm-hmm. All right. Kenny, let's hear from you.
Sure. JT, right? Is the name?
JT, yes.
All right. I want to first thank JT for what he's doing. I too, again, sometimes I feel guilty because, again, not everyone has the privilege or in the position to do or achieve certain things, no matter how much they try. Sometimes the system fights against them. So I've thought about, also trying to give back, opening up my own NGO, but then I see all the paperwork and there's a lot involved. So I want to thank him for doing that. He has a pretty good point, though, when it comes to reaching out to others who may be in a position right now where they're not really sure what is the next step and what to do. And I feel like I do have a duty, in a way, to share my story and some tips and some advice that can help them. Rather, don't hog it for yourself. Don't hoard it. What is that going to do? You can't leave this world with your riches. So he has a pretty good point. I'm ashamed to say, so far, I do offer classes, and I try to. If anyone doesn't know, I'm a brand designer, graphic designer. I'm also a manual therapist. So I actually have classes where I try to share what I know with a new generation or new persons looking to come into the industry. So I do offer, and I have been doing my classes now since about 2019, my massage classes, and then I started up my graphic design classes last year because then I could do it online, taking advantage of everything moving to a virtual atmosphere. So JT, I hear you. You bring up a pretty good point, and I feel I still have a lot more work to do, and I will try my best to give back because that's how we all grow. I think, like Corey said, sometimes we tend to be focused on our own problems and our own challenges and forget that, a lot of us didn't get where we are today on our own anyway. And then, sometimes we get there and then we forget where we, from whence we came. And we forget to give back and to help others, in a way that others help us. So, yeah.
Okay. We have a caller on the line, so let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
It's only me, Michelle. I just wanted to quickly clarify something for Kenny. JT here.
Yes, we're listening.
What I was saying, Kenny, it was not, of course, as a matter to make, it was not the point to make anybody feel badly, mind you. What I was just simply saying is, given the fact that you have so many of the 700 employees now, probably with nothing to do and they're feeling scared, is you and the other gentleman, I forgot his first name, Corey, yes. If you all able to somehow just meet with some of them and encourage them, guide them, first of all, and give them the moral support that this is not the end of the road, but that they can turn this and make a beginning out of it, show them some things, help them to look at opportunities and ways by means they can actually make a life out of this downturn in their lives. That's basically all I'm saying. Encourage them. Just invite them to think anew, think differently rather than panicking. So it's not at all, brother, to make you feel badly. Just to ask you guys from the experiences that you have and knowing the power in that thing called strength and unity, if you can just encourage persons just to get together, network, teamwork, whatever the case may be, just to become revived again, to become economically sound again, to pool their resources now to become more economically viable, powerful, successful, sustainable. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling.
Great point.
Yeah. Okay. To his point, when people are faced with these kinds of situations, back in the caveman's day, when they were being faced by a lion, or a tiger or whatever, they had three choices. They could run. So I call it the three F's: flee, freeze. So you could either run, you could either fight. So that's the next one: flee, fight, or freeze. Right? So today's tiger is being laid off after being furloughed for 14 months. That's a tiger. That's the challenge that is facing so many people today. So for some people, they go into a panic. They freeze. They don't know what to do. So they just sit there in a panic, not knowing what to do. They freeze. Some people flee. They may try to run away from the problem and escape through other means, alcohol, whatever, just running away from the problem, not willing to face that problem. And then you've got the reaction to fight. And in your cases, you chose to fight because that's in essence what you are doing. You're saying, tiger of being laid off after being furloughed for 15 months, I'm not going to let you consume me. I am going to fight and I'm going to win this fight. But, not everybody has that same mindset. And mindset is so important in this conversation because when you can't see the forest for the trees, it is very easy to become frozen. I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So how does a person change their mindset? Because that's where it all begins. That's where it all begins. You have to first believe that you can make lemonade out of this lemon. If you don't believe that, you're going to be there sucking sour lemons. So how does a person deal with the mindset issue? That's where this begins. How do they change their mindset and get out of the flight or freeze mode and decide to fight this tiger? What is your advice to them as it relates to that?
Okay, I'll take that one, Kenny.
I was going to ask you to take it.
That's a good question, Michelle. But unfortunately, like you said, many of us don't have that. As for me, I'm a born fighter. I was always a fighter. That's just my mentality, to fight and the hustle and that's just my mentality. So the thing is now, for most people or for a lot of people, you have to hit rock bottom for them to actually fight. Those people in school, some people you bother and they fight you back right away. Then some people you bother them for weeks and months, and then they finally fight you. Now the rock bottom is here now, I think, with those of us who've been fired, because that's not all redundant or whatever you call it, because the furlough is over for us. You have to fight. That's the only way. So you're forced to change your mindset. And it's sad it had to come to this for it to happen. But the only way sometimes, like the old Kenny Rogers song, say the cow of the county, sometimes you got to fight to be a man, even though that's not in you. So that would be my advice. You have to change your mindset. At some point in time in life, you have to change your mindset or you're going to get buried. And that's what it is. It's really that simple.
We have another call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Well, good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Graham.
I just tuned in, but I'm assuming you were talking about some job loss?
Well, the two gentlemen who are my guests on the show today were both furloughed, one for 14 months, one for 15 months. One of them actually resigned to pursue his own business. The one who had resigned to pursue his own business had been invited to come back, but he decided, you know what, I'm just going to take my chances with my own business, which he had established while he was still at Atlantis. The other one was furloughed for 14 months and was not being invited back, but he too had started his own business while there and decided that this was the time to go head on into that business. So that we're here. This show is really about.
I fully understand.
Yeah, encouraging those who find themselves in this difficult position right now with no job, you know what I mean? But go ahead.
Well, I had called you some time ago on a different station, and we discussed this, and I said that if you had lost your job because of Corona over the last year and a half, it was probably the best thing that ever happened in your life. And I have explanation, and I hope people are listening. Let me tell you why, and I'm watching the clock. You could have taken this time, and we should have, as a nation, taken this time. You see, we have big tourism in our country, big buildings, we have big boats, and they are making big money. One cruise ship bragged about $10 billion was made in my country. Well, what percentage stayed with us? I see in the paper today, the government is saying they're going to make an insane amount of money by taxing Airbnb, which is people to people. You see, if I had a carport and the government was giving $5,000, you remember they gave out the free money? I could have closed my garage, my carport in, put a door on it, and I could have put a nice bed in there, and I could have rented that for $100 a night on Airbnb. I would have made $700 a week owning tourism instead of $350 or $2.44 per bed making beds. So maybe God stopped, you know the song Stop the World, Let Me Off? Maybe he stopped this for us so that we could have bounced back owning tourism instead of just working in it. I'll leave you with this. They say now they're going to tax fully the Airbnb for Bahamians. If those two gentlemen had started an Airbnb and their only income is from Airbnb, and you're going to put VAT on their income, are we starting income tax? Because if so, I'd like to put it on all the rich people. So a class action lawsuit needs to come. We should have taken the last year and a half to come back with Tourism 2.0 ownership for our people. But instead, we sat on our you-know-what, and we did nothing, waiting for Master to bring back that, in my opinion, slave ship job. Just working in tourism without owning it. You can't own tourism. You can't own a big hotel. No, I need to own 10,000 small hotels. And so they don't understand the Abaco and Bimini model, that Abaco brought in $1 out of every $3. And it stayed with the people. You see, because if those gentlemen start a business and the lady left her job, started her own housekeeping business for Airbnbs, and she was making almost $2,000 a week cleaning Airbnbs, where she was making $300 at the hotel. So until we want to have the real conversation of ownership, and they're going to tell you, you can't own this tourism thing. You don't own a big boat or a big hotel. No, I own many little ones. But I can own a car with a huge interest rate at a bank, but I can't own and take the same 30 grand to fix up my place for Airbnb to have a residual income bigger than the job I have so I can buy a nicer car. So we need to teach money, and I tell you, and I'll challenge any one of our rulers or anybody running for government, and I'll wrap up with this, to a live debate on what Tourism 2.0 and ownership looks like. Because Abaco don't got one big hotel or boat, and they was rocking, believe me. Anyway, Michelle, it's a good show, and I want to encourage everybody who lost their job. It's the best thing ever happened to you. And maybe we should do a show to show them the 19 different ways they can make more money than they ever had on that big job. Take care, Michelle.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much for calling, Graham. Definitely that's part 2 of this show. How do you now make more money And listen, y'all, especially to those of you out there who find themselves in a position where you've been let go. Shoot, I've been let go now. From my last 3 jobs.
You're a soldier, sir. You like
I've
being
been
a
let
soldier.
go for my last 3 jobs. When I was in Bimini, they had a downsizing exercise, and I got caught up in that. And then I went to ILTV. I was a general manager there, helped to get Eyewitness News on the air. And then they let me go unceremoniously from there. And then I went to The Guardian, and we all know what happened there. So my last 3 jobs, I was let go. But you know what?
You're a soldier.
Have to understand that, honestly, man, when I've come to and I can't say I was always here, but I've come to the place in my life where I know that my steps are being ordered by God. Because
Amen.
if it was up to me, I would have still been in Bimini. Apart from the fact that I got exposed to toxic mold in Bimini, I loved my life in Bimini. I had no intentions of coming back to Nassau. My friends used to come visit, and they'd be like, Michelle, when you come back to Nassau, I say, for what? I ain't got no reason to come back there. So I was very, very comfortable there. But God had other plans. Same thing with ILTV. The thing is this. You got to get to the point, and if you don't have a relationship, then I ain't talking to you. But if you have a relationship with God, you got to get to the point where you realize that your steps are being ordered. And many times what seems to be a setback is a set up to propel you forward. I remember watching teaching with Joel Osteen. And he used a slingshot as an example. He said, if I want you to imagine a slingshot, you got to pull that thing back. And the further you pull that back, the further that projectile will go forward when you release that. So if you are doing everything you're supposed to be doing and you find yourself in your life where you're being pulled back, stop blaming the devil. Stop thinking God forsake you. Because truth be told, it is that pulling back that will be used to propel you forward. If I ain't ready to talk it yet, but when I tell y'all of the opportunities that have been presented to me since I got pulled back, I'm like, God, you blowing my mind. It's like he has opened up the world. And so I just want to encourage you guys out there who are going through this. This is not the end of the world. You will get through this. You just have to have the right mindset and put yourself in a position where, Kenny, you took yourself out of this. Corey, you took yourself out of the stream. Let me put you back in. Put yourself in a position. I got you back in now. Put yourself in a position where you understand that just because you are in a place doesn't mean that that is your destiny. It's just a part of the process. And sometimes we got to have our back against the wall in order for us to become creative. And maybe that's all this is. A way for you to tap into your creativity to figure out the next way forward. We got to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with these fine gentlemen. We're calling this show today When Life Gives You Lemons. Y'all better make some sweet lemonade, y'all. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Bahamas Orthodontic Center, celebrating 30 years of designing and creating beautiful smiles. Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy Schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information.
At the Shirley Street Plaza, you'll find Le Petit Gourmet, a small cafe that's big on flavor. Handcrafted delights made with love will not only please your palate, but feed your soul. Call us at 394-1251. 8 to 12 minutes is all it takes for a burglar to rob your home or business. Security Systems International provides professional and affordable solutions for both. Call 396-5000 for your customized quote. Gwen's Alterations provides professional services for all your tailoring needs, including face masks to keep you safe and in style. A stitch in time saves 9. So call us today at 393-6227.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing Fast-Acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Located on Carmichael Road, Divine Designs Hair Boutique is a haven for women and men looking for professional beauty services. Our state-of-the-art and contemporary equipment creates a relaxing ambiance for you to enjoy while we cater to you. Need a hairstylist? We cater to all types and textures of hair for care and styling. We even have a barber on duty. Need a nail tech? Our technicians provide a range of nail services, including the latest trends. Unwind in one of our massage chairs while you get your pedicure. With our reasonable rates, friendly staff, and over 20 years of experience, you will be in great hands. Call us at 823-1669 or 698-1025 to schedule your appointment. Wanna be pampered? Wanna be slayed? Let Divine Designs make your day.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Listen, guys, I want you to like and share this show if you haven't already done so. Like and share the show, and especially if you know anybody who's been caught up in this whole, being laid off after being on furlough for a year and a half, almost. And now you got no job. And a lot of them are going through a period of panic and hopelessness, I'm sure. And I have two gentlemen on the show with me today who have been there, done that, and have decided to take the lemons that they were given and make some sweet lemonade. Now, Corey's video is frozen. So, yeah, I'm going to remove him from the stream until I see some movement from his side. But my guests are Kenny St. Mark and Corey Bullard, who both were at Atlantis and were on furlough for well over a year. Kenny decided to resign after being invited back. He decided, you know what? I'm good, thanks. I'm going to go on my own and do my own thing. And Corey was not invited back, was among those that were let go after being on furlough for so long. And he too had started working his own business. while on furlough, and now that he has been let go, he's in a position where his business is doing well. Plus, they got to pay him the money to let him go. So I tell you, God is good. But yeah, guys, I wanted to specifically do this show today to talk to people who are going through that experience, because a lot of them really don't know what to do. And I thought it would be good to hear from persons who were right there with you and who have come out of this thing much better than they went in. Let me read a couple of your comments. So Dawn says, great show, Michelle. In times of crisis, opportunity comes out. There you go. Within every adversity, there's an opportunity. You just got to be able to see it. Kenny says, powerful. Thank you, Kenny. Graham says, let them know you're an expert on how to do better after you let go. But here's the thing, it's so strange in this whole thing as it relates to being let go. In my generation, right? Many people in my generation, that's the end of their life, as far as they're concerned, if they get let go from a job. You have been on this job for 20, 30 years, and if something happens, you get like, oh, Lord God, my life over, they let me go. These young people, they looking for opportunities to leave that job. They ain't trying to hang up. they think, they often say, I ain't gonna never do what my parents did and still no job for no 20, 30, 40 years. So they don't have no hold up. No reservations to pack up and move on. It's an amazing thing. It's a generational thing. So I'm sure, Kenny, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that whole millennial attitude must have contributed to your being able to make that decision. Because I will tell you, for older people, they ain't got that kind of attitude. So for many of them, they like, oh my God, my life is over. I lost my job. Y'all, see ya.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. Tell us about that whole process.
Well, we're the generation that grew up with the internet, So we, many times, other generations, they'd be like, how to do this, how to operate this. We know how to do those things. We know how to operate those things. And with the internet, it connects us in ways it had we were not able to connect before. It also opens up a lot of doors and avenues for doing business in different ways. Like I operate a mobile business, and my graphic design business is 100% digital. So I'm able to still deliver the work to my clients while sort of not having to worry about the overhead costs. So, and that's thanks in part again to the internet. There are a lot of my clients, agencies, large corporations that I do campaigns, marketing campaigns and projects for, and we never even connect face to face, not even to make exchange of payments, because again, you have bank transfers, you know, the digital age.
Right.
So, and, again, that's thanks in part to my generation growing up in that sort of environment where the internet sort of, was, I don't want to say ruled our lives. But
it did.
Anything can be used for great evil or great good. So in my instance, or in my instance, I was able to take it, use that to my advantage for both of my ventures, because that's also how my mobile business as a manual therapist, that's how I get appointments. Most of my clientele are tourists. So, that's been impacted a lot over the last year. But without having myself positioned on the internet via my website, my Google page, my Facebook, my Google ads, no one would even know that my business exists, because I don't have a physical establishment for them to, walk into.
Yeah.
So the only way I'm getting money is thanks to the internet. And the same thing with my graphic design business. They discover my platforms, Facebook page, Instagram, website, and then reach out to me for, business. So, yeah.
I actually found you through LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Corey, what do you have to add to that?
Well, I mean, even though you and I are from the same generation.
Listen, I'm probably old enough to be your mom.
Michelle, I'm over 50.
You serious?
Yes, ma'am.
You look pretty good. I didn't think you were that old.
That's fitness. That's what fitness will do for you.
Wow. I'm
I,
impressed.
I have always used myself as a prime example. I
I'm
got
impressed.
grandchildren,
Oh dear, I'm really impressed. Both you and your wife look
so
amazing, unless you marry a young woman, but that's another show.
no. We
Let's
went
stay
to high school
focused.
together, so no.
Wow, y'all both look amazing then.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, so you coming now from our generation. So
Correct.
this is perfect. This is perfect because he could speak about the millennial attitude, but you know our
Correct.
attitude. You got to hold on to that job for dear life, and
Correct.
God forbid you get let go. It's the end of the world. Oh my God!
Correct.
So how did you overcome that?
Well, the thing is, I think differently, because I have my daughters, they're millennials, they're in their 30s and 20s. So I have just as much digital platforms as Mark has. I have my Facebook page, Instagram. I have a website, and I get a lot of my business online. And I also connect with a lot of international people through Instagram and through my web page. So I'm all for using the millennial tools. I'm on Instagram constantly, like take for instance, I have 4 ladies from South Carolina coming in the 15th of next month. They're going to play Bahama.
Mm-hmm.
And they follow my page and they say, Coach, we're coming to the last song and we want you to train us. So when they reach, I'm going to train them on different space, and I'm able to charge them $12 for my services, and then that's going to be more promotion because of the videos, and then they'll go back and they'll tell their friends and family, and then voila, simple as that.
Amazing. You really do have to be willing to embrace new technology, because let me tell you, my work as a health coach, I do all of my consultations virtually, in country and out, and I literally have clients all over the world, Europe, Africa, Caribbean, U.S., Canada, all over the world. I have clients. So you have to be willing to embrace that technology and not be afraid of it, because a lot of people in our generation and older are literally afraid of that thing. It's like, they got to face a roaring lion if they got to go learn how to do something on the internet. And you really have to not be afraid of that, because if you are, then you're going to be left on the side of the road, singing that "Woe Is Me" song, and asking, what amazes me that people who are otherwise very intelligent would say, "Oh, I gotta let one of my grandchildren come do this for me." Come on, man, you got a brain, you can figure this out. It ain't that hard. It's not that complicated. But I think because the younger generation, the millennials, grew up with that, they are more comfortable, and so it's a no-brainer for them. Whereas the older generation, may think, I can't do that, but yes, you can. You got a brain, put it to use. You stop limiting yourself, stop making yourself out to be less than the intelligent being that you are. Now, I saw a comment. I want us to touch on it. Where did it go? Something that I think it was Bertha who said it.
And can I add something to that, Michelle?
Go ahead.
I know we referred to the internet as the millennial tool, but the internet is it's here to stay. We definitely were the generation that grew up with it, so we were able to tap into it better than other generations. But it's here to stay. It's a tool that it's a global tool, and how things change, things evolve, and you either evolve with it or you get left behind. Because I'm sure during my parents' generation, there were things that changed that weren't present.
That they had to adjust to.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we should continue to refer to it as, a millennial tool. It started off that way, but now it's a tool for everyone, and how you evolve, take advantage of that tool evolve with it or just get left behind.
You'd be left behind.
Yeah, I don't know if you can even call it or associate it with millennials anymore.
I hear you, because people like me using it now.
Yep.
All right. Now I have a comment here from Bertha. I want us to address this. Bertha says, Michelle, not everyone is capable of operating a business. They need that job. How do you respond to that, gentlemen?
Corey.
Corey, he like to throw the hard ones at you.
He did it a few times.
Corey's video is frozen again, so
Okay.
I think we can have to just go with you on this one.
I don't know what she meant by not everyone is able to start their own business.
Uh-huh.
Because, I was just doing some cardio the other day. I'm not sure if this is legal or okay, but I saw some guys going around, and stopping at random coconut trees on the road and taking coconuts off the tree. And I'm sure they're going to go ahead and sell that. You can make a business out of anything is what I'm trying to say. And what does she mean by not everyone is capable of starting a business? Does she mean legally, as in going through the proper paperwork and the channels and filing for that license and going through, Ministry of Works and all that? Yeah.
No.
I feel like if you have the determination, you're not going to let anything stop you. I feel like already saying that not everyone is able to, you are already you're backing yourself already into a corner, and your business is likely to fail if you're already going into it with
that mindset.
Correct.
We go back to that word again.
Even if you feel that way, don't even speak it. Think of it the other way and allow that to push you forward. Why? My question would be, why do you think that? Why do you feel not everyone is capable? I know everyone is in a different position. I mentioned that earlier. But, yeah,
Listen, man, and Corey, I can let you respond right now. Mindset is very important. Everybody knows now of Tiki Bikini Hut on Junkanoo Beach. A lot of us go there. They have some amazing food. Oh, my God. Byron's team, his chefs are really good, right? Do you know how Byron started that business? Caller, I need you to turn your radio down, please. You know how Byron started that business? Some cool drinks in a cooler. He went to Junkanoo Beach one day with a cooler full of cool drinks. $50, I think he said he started with. And sold those cold drinks to the tourists on the beach. And then he turned that money over and turned the money over and turned the money over until he is where he is at today with Tiki Bikini Hut. It is all dependent on your mindset. Let's go to the caller. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Michelle,
Hey.
I don't usually call back, but I had to.
Uh-huh.
Anyone who tells you that everybody cannot do it, that is a lie from the pits of hell from the devil. Everybody gets up at 6 and 7 a.m. and drops their kids to school. The majority get up and do that. The majority get up and go to a big project to work for someone else to make small wages. And the devil and others oppress you by saying not everybody could do it. Let me tell you something. Everybody can make a bed. And I'd rather make the bed I own than the bed someone else's own. Does that make sense?
Well, look at the example you used earlier about the young lady who was cleaning rooms at the hotel and now has her own business cleaning Airbnb rooms and making 6 times the amount she was making on the job.
And you know what's fun? I told her something that she didn't even realize. I said, you were being paid $2.44 per bed, about $350 a week. You were being paid to go to school to learn how to do this professionally. Think of it as not a job. They were paying you. That's how stupid they were. They were paying you to learn how to do something that you could do for yourself and go from $300 a week to about $2,000 to $2,100 a week.
That's powerful.
How?
Graham. That is powerful.
You do the show and invite the people who can teach the Bahamians how to make more with the skills they have.
Yes.
We'll talk later.
That's a good point. Thank you so much for calling back, Graham. What do you already have in your hand? What do you have in your hand that you can turn into a business? Now, Bertha has responded by saying, all depends on your level of education. Again, Bertha, I got to disagree with you on that.
So do
because
I.
some of the richest people in the world, some of them never even finished high school.
That's
Okay?
right.
So don't allow your level of education to stop you from advancing, because that has nothing to do with it. It really doesn't.
By the way, I'm a self-taught graphic
boils
designer.
down to two things. It boils down to two things. Whatever your talent is and your drive. That's it. We could complicate it, and we could go around the Mulberry Bush and around the ballpark and all that. But it depends on your talent, whatever it is, and your drive to push it. This is work. I have to stay up late night sometimes thinking of strategies, whether I'm going to do giveaways or coupons, so it takes some work now. But like anything else, like how a company structures their work hours so you can go and obey them like sheep. It takes a while for you to structure your business like this. I'm sure Kenny will agree. But once you structure your business, it's the same thing. Like me, for instance, I pretty much know what I'm going to make weekly and monthly all the time. It took me time to get there, but I know because the business is structured. But the problem is most small business people, they don't wait until they get to that point and they quit. So, as far as I'm concerned, shoots. This is my job. It's better. I own it. It's the same thing when I work in Atlantis. I know what I can make, and a lot of times I make more. And I do the same thing, except for myself. So you just got to reach to that point. So it's all about drive. You got to have that drive and determination. That's what it boils down to.
Okay, I want to read a couple of messages. This one is from Lily Rose. Lily Rose says, God does not always call the qualified. Everyone has a talent to bring prosperity for themselves. Now, I want to read a message that was just sent to me on my personal phone. This says, and I want you guys to consider this, but we're going to take a break and then we're going to address this on the other side. It says, good afternoon, Miss Malcolm. I'm really at the bottom. I'm calling you to ask if you can help me with a few dollars to get food for myself and my grandchildren, please. Okay. I want us to talk about that on the other side of the break. Because there are people out there who, listen, people living out their cars, backs against the wall. And when you're going through a difficult period, sometimes it really is hard for you to think because you're so panicked, you're so in a place of desperation that you really can't think. But I want to talk to people specifically like the person who sent me that message, because they're sitting there thinking that their only way to survive is to ask, for a handout. I need you to help me, please. And I'm not saying that people don't need help. But there's this old saying that if you're hungry and you come to me and I give you a fish, you'll be hungry again tomorrow. But if I teach you how to fish, you will never be hungry again. So what do we do to teach people how to fish? And I'm not saying that they don't need something to eat right now. So you might have to give them that fish right now, but you don't stop there. Where are we going wrong in this country as it relates to teaching people how to fish? I want you guys to think about that. And then we're going to answer that question on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. And by BMP Liquidators. High quality furniture and home goods at very reasonable prices.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Listen to Glory 93.9 FM for the best mix of traditional, classic, country, contemporary, and Caribbean gospel in New Providence, Bahamas.
Ocean blue is the best in seafood, hey, hey. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. We got fish, conch, lobster, shrimp, everything you want, Ocean Blue got it. Ocean Blue, friendly and clean, best service you ever seen. Ocean Blue is the best in seafood, yeah. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. Ocean Blue Seafood, we are here for you. Ocean Blue Seafood, no one else will do. Ocean Blue Seafood, located on Burnett Road. Contact us at 393-2160.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and my guests today are two gentlemen who were furloughed at Atlantis and decided to move on to start their own business. They are Kenny St. Mark and Corey Bullard. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey.
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm listening to your show, and your show is so inspiring.
Thank you.
You know, because you know, it's a breeder. We're not talking politics today.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about empowerment. You know, I listen to these two guys. I remember I used to work at, I think it was Merv Griffin before I became an analyst.
You go way back.
Yeah, way back. And one day, I was in the dining room servicing a guest,
Mm-hmm.
and my life like speed forward at least about 20 years, right? And I said to myself that morning, I said, if I stay in for another 20 years, I'll be just like these guys, hustling $1 every day,
Hmm.
right? You know something? And I had just finished my food and beverage course. I passed it with a good grade. And so I went and I talked to my boss. I said, you know, I wanna quit. And he said, man, you know, you just passed your exam. I hate to let you go. I said, let me tell you something. I have to go. I don't see a future here for me. I need to go. And he told me, okay, what I'll do, I'll leave this space available. If your venture doesn't make it, you're welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that opportunity and I never looked back.
Mm.
That's almost 30 years ago. And, you know, because I saw myself, you know, I'd have been just like some of the guys in the restaurant who just hustling dollar bills here and dollar bills there. I said, no, sir, I gotta go. I gotta go. I need it. Life is more important to me to be a server in a restaurant. And, you know, and by me doing that, I was able to start 2 companies, you know, and they were very successful.
Wow.
And, you know, you just have to take a chance, right? Because like the young man said a few minutes ago, you just have to be determined to go there and take a chance. You know, a lot of people, they been working for a hotel for 30 or 25 years, and they see that as the end. If the hotel lay them off, that's it for them. But you cannot look at life like that. You have to look at life, you know something? If this door is closed, I have to open the next door tomorrow. No, I'm not going to let no one open a door and shut that on me one time.
You got to fight.
Because I saw so many people, I mean, good employees were working in the hotel, and the hotel went slow, and, you know, and they were able to lay them off, and that was it for them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I like your show, you know. I hope, you know, my story was inspiring to somebody. But, you know,
I'm sure it was. And
yeah.
I want to say one more thing before you hang up. You got 2 successful businesses. I need some sponsors.
Yeah, I was there about 3 weeks ago to get a sponsorship sheet for you guys. But I'm taking it out.
WhatsApp me at 805-6430, 805-6430, so I can present you with some packages. All right?
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much for calling, and I'm sure that your story inspired some today. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Thank
Cool.
you.
All right. So we want to go back to the idea of education, and that you have to have a certain degree or a certain level of education. Carla actually responded to Bertha's comment about the level of education, and Carla said, no, Bertha, education is what you make it. Persons have a master's degree and a cashier or a teller at the bank. Bill Gates never finished or went to college. All right. And then Bertha responded by saying, I agree, you must be mentally ready in order to succeed. So, Kenny, I know you wanted to respond to that as it relates to the importance of education or the lack thereof and the ability to start your own thing.
Yes, I just want to expand on that because I am a self-taught graphic designer.
Mm-hmm.
And here I sit.
Mm-hmm.
if I allow my circumstances or to say, hey, I don't have any education or formal education in graphic design. Again, I had a passion for art.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a creative person, and I allowed that passion to drive me. So I got my hands on the software and I taught myself. And anyone who knows me as a graphic designer, I always get compliments on the work I provide. So even without the formal training, I'm still able to produce work that often matches and rivals, those out there with the education.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you don't need formal education. I'm
Right.
just saying I don't know if that should be the reason that stops you.
You can't let it.
And it shouldn't be why or your excuse for saying, well, some people, you're right. But that doesn't mean that you can't still make it, because here I still sit 10 years later, by the way. I started playing around with Photoshop
Mm-hmm.
around 2007, solidified my business a few years ago. But before that, I was just freelancing, doing my own thing from about 2009 to now 2021. And in that time, I've worked with many different companies, corporations, agencies, some of the largest in the country,
Mm-hmm.
all off of just my self-taught, self-guided instruction.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't know that you should use that as a crutch ever. As long as you have the passion, push through.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah.
Good advice. So the number to call, 828-3543, 828-3543 is the number to call. And the text line is 828-2543, 828-2543. I want to go back to a couple of the comments. Siobhan says, what all Bahamians need to learn from this pandemic and even prior is to become their own boss. And no, not everyone has to have a degree to become self-employed. Think about your passion. This mentality of just being an employee is where we fall short in this country. Walk out on faith. Another comment coming in from Siobhan again. She says, if you are uncomfortable or lack confidence, get a mentor. I'm sure most entrepreneurs would be happy to share their experience and to help. I pivoted 2 business ideas during the pandemic. If I can, so can you. Claudette says, once you have a passion for whatever it is you want to execute, it will work. Determination and passion is the drive. Now, I want to add to that, though, because there's another component, and that's learning and process, because you don't necessarily have to have a degree, but you need to go through some kind of process to understand what you need to do to be able to succeed in what it is you've chosen to do. The example that Graham discussed earlier when he called about the young woman who is now making a good living cleaning Airbnb beds, she had training. Her training was when she worked at Atlantis and learned how to clean those rooms at Atlantis. So I say that to say this. It would help. It would be helpful if you had some kind of skill set based on what it is that you say you want to do. So if you say, I want to start a business baking cakes, make sure your cakes ain't hard like bricks. There's got to be some level of skill and preparation for the business idea. Passion is one thing, process is another. Gentlemen, what do you have to say on that? Either one of you, both. I don't know why y'all keep looking at each other.
Yes. I guess I could start.
Okay.
Just like I said, self-taught. I'm not exaggerating when I say I've spent thousands of hours over the past decade honing my craft. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just, I self-taught myself and here I am. No,
right.
I worked many, and graphic designing is a very labor-intensive profession.
Mm-hmm.
You spend hours in front of the computer just to create one flyer.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a lot of time honing my craft to where it is, to the point it is today, where persons recognize my skill and reach out to me and often compliment me on my work.
Mm-hmm.
And often, the way I present myself again, it's not only my work, but my work ethic.
Right.
I never speak of myself in first person. I speak of myself in third person.
Okay.
Whenever anyone reaches out to me, I didn't say, I will do this. I say, we. I use my business name.
So that gives the impression that you got this whole team working with you.
Correct.
Right.
And many persons are surprised when they find out it's only me. But, if you want people to treat you like a business, then act like a business.
Okay.
Correct? And I
Good
am not
point.
saying a single person can be a business. But again, if you are an entity, even if you are a sole proprietor, which I am, you still shouldn't be using I. You want to use we and always refer to yourself using the business name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's definitely practice makes perfect. So, take this time. And we had in the last year, 15 months, to practice and hone those skills. So, yeah.
All right. Corey, let's get you in on this. What are your thoughts? Corey, you frozen again? Okay, I see you now. What are your thoughts on this? You muted. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been in business. I've been in fitness, from 1996. So I just so that's if you got thousands of hours, that's must be $1 million. So I ain't just start this. Now I've been on the business side of it for 15 years, but I was honing my craft whether I knew it or not all those years. So nothing. This ain't Facebook where Mark Zuckerberg them get lucky and they business start right away. Most people you gotta hone your craft, you gotta be in it, and you gotta know it. And when I tell people start your talent is whatever you can do good. Your talent is not necessarily what you like. Many people like to sing, but they can't. So let me straighten that. Your talent is not only what you like, but what you can do well and easy. Right.
Exactly.
So don't misconstrue that. It's not necessarily what you like, it's what you can do. So yeah, like I said, I've been in fitness from 96. That's what 25 years or whatever, 26 years. So yeah, it takes, and even now I'm constantly learning new things. I'm in this coaches group called ATG, from coaches from all over the world. As far as I know, I'm the only black person in it, and we have Zoom meetings 5 o'clock in the morning because them guys in New Zealand, they're in England, they're in Australia, all over, and you should see me, little dark me in this Zoom meeting with all these coaches. But I'm learning. I don't stop.
So it's worth it to you to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for that opportunity.
Oh yeah. I got to master my craft, man. Oh yeah.
Well, even if I use myself as an example, y'all know my broadcasting is my background. That's what I actually went to school for. But because of the health challenge that I had, I picked up this new passion for health and healing. And I didn't just start talking about it, but I actually went and got a certification, all done online, to become a certified health coach. And that is how I got that business started. And I will tell you this, I'm at the point now where entire governments are reaching out saying, we want to hear what you have to say, because they saw me on some platform online and thought, oh, wow, this woman is coming with something that, we need. And so the Bible says your gift will make room for you. But you have to still hone that gift. You can't just say, I got this raw talent and expect that raw talent to turn into a lucrative business if you are not willing to hone that raw talent. That's the point that we're trying to make here. But if you do that, your gift will make room for you. Let's go to a couple of comments. Siobhan says, I agree. Of course, having some skill set is important. However, if you have little or no experience, use a family or friend to provide direct feedback, like baking a cake. Get your family or friend to taste the cake and provide feedback. Just saying. All right. Cool. Yeah. You can always learn a new skill. All we're saying is, just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean that will translate into a successful business if you have not been able to hone that passion and make sure that you're skilled enough so that you could translate that into a successful business. You can't ignore that process. That's the point that I'm trying to make. But we all have something. God in his mercy ensure that every human being that made it to planet Earth has something in them that they can serve to the world. Something. And it's just a matter of you trying to figure out how to monetize that something. So you may be very, very good at baking cookies, right? and you think, oh, this is just for my family. This is just a little comfort food for my family. Man, you got some people who'll pay you top dollar for them cookies if they're that good. Okay? Because they tired eating the dry, stale cookies at the food store. So they want some home-baked cookies that are moist and delicious and have your special ingredient in it. So turn that into a business. What were you doing at the hotel? How can, and again, I like how Graham put it. Look at that as training. They were training you. So whatever you were doing at that hotel, think about how can you now turn that into a business that's going to pay you way more than they were paying you, because many of y'all who've been let go are probably on minimum wage. They ain't making no money, no how. So what were you doing at the hotel? And how can you now turn that into a business like the young lady did with cleaning the rooms? This is how you have to think, because saying, help me, please, that's going to help you for a day. I can't support anybody by giving them money every single day. So that will help you for that one day. And then what? Then what do you do? So you have to start to calm yourself long enough that you can start to think creatively. You got to calm yourself, because right now I know a lot of y'all are in a panic mode. And when you are panicked, you cannot think creatively. And in order for you to identify a business idea that's going to succeed, you have to think creatively. So panic is your enemy. Being frozen by fear is your enemy. What do you already have in your hand? What skill set do you already have? What talent do you already naturally possess that you can turn around and make a living from? And like these two gentlemen on the show today, you may find at the end of the day, if you embrace that, you'll be like, job? I ain't going back to that madness. Somebody say job means just over broke. They only paying you enough to keep you coming back. But if you're talking about becoming independently, wealthy or financially free, you will never be able to do that on a regular job.
Nope.
Michelle, can I offer
Absolutely.
just a few tips because brand management is also an area that I specialize in.
Mm-hmm.
Just some tips for persons who are looking to get into starting their own business. A lot of times, and I just did a talk about this on the Bahamas Virtual Business Expo last week, talking about brand management and how to present yourself so that you stand out, because you're not the only one out there with the same skill,
right?
So there's a difference between being different and differentiation. Being different is, everyone else is doing red, let me do green.
Mm-hmm.
But if no one's looking for green, okay, you're
then
being different.
Yeah.
But differentiation is about a difference that matters to your clients and your customers.
So making sure your red pops more.
Well,
how you
try orange,
Mm-hmm.
if everyone's looking for orange, just don't be different for the sake of being different.
Right.
A difference that matters to your customers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of persons are like, they come to me, we want a flyer. Okay, but your competition has a flyer too. What makes your flyer different? Why should they look at this and decide to choose you over your competition?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the differentiation comes in.
Get it.
That's when, tapping into your brand, the message, and not just another visual, that's what sets you apart. Communicate the message. And you see that lately with a few companies now. They're creating more of an experience around their company, elevating their brands, and not just putting out flyers with the same cliche statement saying, hey, come to us. Especially stuff like we're the best in the country. Okay? Everyone is saying that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you showing people, are you delivering experiences
right
that say that you are the best?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. We have a caller on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to this will be the last call of the day. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. I had to call back.
Okay.
I remember talking to Pastor Miles before I resigned my job at Merle Griffin. And Pastor Miles told me that day, and you said the same thing. I know you had to been a student, Pastor Miles, too. And he said, use what's in your hand. And so I asked him the day, I said, what you mean by that, Pastor Miles? He said, what are you good with?
Mm-hmm.
Right? He used that. And I said, wow. And he said, you're going into business. If someone is thinking about a car, right, let them look for you first. Right? Because you're not only selling a car, you're selling an experience.
There you go.
With the car.
There you go.
Right? Man, this is a good show, man. You need to do this again. You need to do this again.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for calling back. I'll do a part two. I'll do a part two, and I'm going to call that one "Learning How to Fish." So we go beyond this conversation about changing the mindset. Now that we've worked on the mindset, what can you literally do? What are some of the ideas that you can do to learn how to fish? So you won't have to be standing on the line waiting for the government to give you a little small guppy when you could go pulling your own whale. That's what we're going to be talking about on that next show. So I'm going to work on that for a day next week. Because we got to get the mindset changed, Joe. We got to get the mindset changed.
It starts with the mindset.
Yes, big part of it. Okay, we've got 3 minutes left. I'm going to give you each 1 minute to give us your final thoughts. Corey, let's start with you.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your show, Michelle. I hope to come back again. And Kenny, you're an inspiration. We have to do some business, buddy, because I'm always marketing. So marketing is a constant in business. And Bahamas, I want everybody to understand that we all have talent that lies within us. And it goes back to this word talent. We all have it. We just need to put the pride with it. And, I know everybody's not gonna have their own business. Everybody can, but everybody refuses to have the same mindset. So that's the separation. It's not that you literally can't do it. It's just that your mind, for whatever reason, you're choosing not to gear and to go that way. So I just want to encourage everybody that, even though, but this is especially for those who are still working for people or working for a company, develop your own thing on your off time. Develop your own thing on your off time. You've seen what happened this year and last year.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it can happen.
There's
develop
no
your own thing.
Security. Yeah, there's no such thing
There's no such thing as job security.
Yeah.
So that probably be my biggest takeaway. You can do both. You can work for somebody and you can develop your own business. So I urge Bahamians, please do not get lax. Do not get comfortable. Develop your own thing. You can do both.
Yeah.
You don't have to do one of them.
Okay, Corey took half of your minute, Kenny. But
sorry.
It's okay.
All right, let's get our final thoughts from you, Kenny.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for inviting me and allowing me to share my story. My final words to any of the listeners right now is if you want to be different, be different. Insanity again is doing the same thing again and again, expecting different results.
Yeah.
Okay, one job let you go to the next one, and then you're frustrated when it's the same thing. So how about trying something different? Pardon me. Trying something different, starting your own business.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone needs any guidance or assistance, I'm here to help. When it comes to brand management and brand design, that's what I do. My company is the Bahamian Studio, bahamianstudio.com. And yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, it's 1 o'clock. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And congratulations to you both on taking those lemons and making some sweet, sweet lemonade. Let's hope that those who are listening to the show today will be inspired to do the same. Congratulations to you both and all the best to you both in your businesses.
Thank you.
All right, guys, our time is gone. That's going to do it for today. Tomorrow, it's TGIF Friday. It's an opportunity to look at the week that was and give you a chance to get some things off your chest. It's going to be a good one. We got a lot to talk about, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.